If you've been watching my channel for a while now, then you'd know that I really like talking about Super Smash Bros. I've done lists on characters and stages from each game so far, so now it's time for Ultimate. But with this one, it's going to be a little different. Instead of doing another top 10 characters, I'm actually going to be doing a top 74 characters. This way, I'll be able to talk about all of the characters. There are a lot of characters I've wanted to talk about in the past, like in Brawl and Smash 4, but they just never made it to the top 10. So doing a top 74 gives me the opportunity to talk about those characters, characters I don't like, characters I have mixed opinions on, and stuff like that. And the only way to avoid doing like a top 74 might be to do a top 25, but then there are still characters I want to talk about, and I don't want to do a video like top 10 characters I like, but not enough to put in my top 10, because that would just be stupid. So I'm just going to go over all of the characters. Ultimate also has every character that has ever been in a Smash game, plus new characters. So I think this is the perfect Smash to rank all of the characters on. Before we start, I need to say 3 things. 1. This video will be split into 3 parts. Part 1 will be 74 through 51, Part 2 will be 50 through 26, and Part 3 will be 25 through 1. 2. I am not a competitive player. So this is not a tier list. These are just my personal favorites, least favorites, and middle favorites. Now, I will bring up some things that relate to competitive play, like I like to watch High Level Mario, or Wolf is a really good character in competitive. But this is not a tier list or anything like that, so if you're wanting to see a tier list, you're in the wrong place, so just go find another video. 3. I will not be including DLC characters in this video. So far we have Piranha Plant, who's been out for a couple months, and Joker, who literally just came out as I'm working on this video. I will instead be creating a ranking of the DLC characters once they are all out. And in that video, I will say where I rank them with all the other characters. So this video will eventually be a top 80, but split into 4 videos. But for now, we're just going over the characters that were with the game. Sorry if the intro bored you, just had a lot to say. On to number 74. This should come as no surprise to those of you who saw my top 10 Smash characters I hate video. Now, I was a little harsh in that video, I will admit, so one thing I'll say is there is more to Olimar than just throwing Pikmin. I will stand by the fact that most Olimar players I've seen and played against only do that, but some of the high level players can get more creative with grabs, organizing Pikmin for best kills, and stuff like that. And I know I said something like, if you throw Pikmin that makes you brain dead, but that's not true. It's a very smart thing to do as an Olimar player so you can make your opponent approach you, but it's still very annoying and makes fighting Olimar not fun at all. And when it comes to playing Olimar, I do not care to put the time into doing any of the organizing or setups for kills. All I do is just throw the Pikmin. I know I complain about that, but I don't care enough to put the time into mastering Olimar. He's just not worth it for me. Some things they added to Ultimate is how Olimar's down B protects you from knockback, giving it more use than it already had, which it's a pretty useful move to begin with. It'd be cool if they added that effect to other characters for their not so amazing moves to make them viable, but I digress. But with everything I hate about Olimar, I find it very odd and kind of sad that Alph was not made into an Echo Fighter. They could have given him Rock Pikmin, or maybe he'll fight like Olimar from Brawl or something. And this might sound strange coming from someone who hates Olimar, but I think Alph needs more attention, and I think it would have been cool if he was an Echo Fighter. Yeah, I'll have to deal with 2 really obnoxious, stupid characters, but I mean, I just feel bad for Alph. He doesn't get attention, so yeah. Overall, fuck Olimar. I hate, and Alph. They're both the same, but I hate them both. I hate fighting them. I don't like playing them. They're one of the very few characters I hate in this game, so yeah, that's why they're at number 74. Sorry to anybody who likes Olimar, but I hate them. to this day, I still get comments from people angry about Sonic's inclusion on my Characters I Hate video. So to those angry at me for that, my opinion still stands. I fucking hate Sonic. But hey, I'll say some things I like about him because I don't remember if I did in that other video, so maybe that was why a lot of people hated me. I don't know. I mean, I did put him on the list, so... Or I also put him in the thumbnail, so they probably immediately commented on that. Some things I like are his taunts and expressions. I just think they're funny. And the only thing that I find satisfying landing is an aerial after using your up B, the spring. I think that's just a really cool feeling, but that's really it. That's all I could think of. For me, Sonic in Smash Ultimate is still super boring and not fun to use. He's still super annoying to fight. A ton of his moves have him in a ball, which just feels lazy at this point. He has such a variety of moves in the 3D games you could give him by now, but whatever, I guess. He's just gonna be in a ball forever. There were some changes to Sonic in Ultimate though. His spin dash isn't as good as it used to be, so replacing his spin dash and viability is his honing attack, the neutral lead. Now you can hold it for much longer and your opponent can't really do anything about it, other than wait and shield, try to parry, or maybe try to hit with a projectile, but it's just such a fast move, you have to respect it, basically. His forward smash also has some pretty ridiculous range. Overall, I don't think he's as good as previous incarnations, but he's still really annoying, and he probably always will be if he keeps the same type of moveset. And hey, if you like Sonic, cool. People probably think I don't like Sonic the Hedgehog, like the character, or maybe his games. That's not true. I think Sonic's fine as a character, and I love his games. Well, most of them. No, some of them. But if you like Sonic and Smash Bros, good for you. I'm glad someone can find joy in him, but I just can't. I'm not that person. Fuck Sonic. So, yeah, on to 72. I'm happy Bayo got nerfed in this game because she was not fun to deal with in Smash 4 at all. She can still be kind of annoying in this game, but I feel like I have a better time against her. But then again, I don't fight a lot of Bayonettas because I feel like the people who liked using her just liked her because she was super fucking good and not because they like Bayonetta. I'm sure there were some people like that. I'm not saying all of them, but it makes you wonder. And not only do I not fight Bayonetta very much, I also don't see her in competitive, like the competitive scene a lot. Maybe she is during making this video, like someone found some crazy combo or something, I don't know. But I'm just taking that and assuming that she's not as good in this game, just overall. But making her less annoying to fight really didn't help her in this list, because in the Smash Characters I Hate video, I'm pretty sure she was number 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was number 3. And she was above Sonic. So now she's, like, I favor her more over Sonic, and that's not a very good spot to be in. So, yeah. There's nothing I really like about Bayo, to be honest. I just find her less annoying to fight than Olimar and Sonic. But she's also my least favorite character to play. So she ends up here, I guess. So while I definitely hate fighting Olimar and Sonic more, I don't like playing as Bayonetta. I just don't. I can't do any of her crazy combos. Her witch time doesn't last for very long, and even if it did, I'd only really be able to get a smash attack off of it because I just can't do any other combos. And the moves I enjoy using are pretty slow and not safe to dish out. This makes her a character that I played in classic mode and a couple times for this video. I just don't care for her. Some of you might think I should try her more to see if I do end up liking her, or maybe she like goes above 70 or something, but I don't gravitate towards her style, and I don't care for her. So rather than being a character that I just straight up hate and want nerfed, she's kind of just there for me. Sorry fans of Bayonetta. On another note, I really need to play her games. Yeah, I should do that soon. On to 71. My opinion on Duck Hunt has lowered a lot since the Smash Characters I Hate video. Expect me to reference that video a lot, by the way. Ever since I uploaded that Characters I Hate video, just Duck Hunt in Smash 4, this is before Ultimate, just lowered and lowered, and I honestly feel like he should have been like number 7 or 6. I feel the same about Duck Hunt in Ultimate as I did in Smash 4. I don't dislike him in terms of like fighting him. Sure, he's really campy, but I can deal with him. But what puts him low on this list is just how boring he is. He's just so uninteresting. Kudos to the people who can pull off the crazy shit with a can and the clay frisbee, but the coolest of combos just make me feel empty. Like I don't care. And personally, I don't have any fun setting that stuff up or the patience to practice combos or follow-ups with Duck Hunt specials. The only thing I use is the can, and it hits the opponent as a result from luck like 60% of the time. Duck Hunt's just not my type of character. I don't hate him, it's just I just do not care about him. He's just really dull for me. I don't ever think ever in my life I want to play Duck Hunt. I never think that ever. So yeah, if you like him, I can understand. It's just, I don't care about him. Same with Duck Hunt. Bowser Jr. is a very boring and forgettable character. Some of his moves are fun, unlike Duck Hunt, like down B and side B, I guess. And I think the concept of Bowser Jr. being in a clown car with a bunch of gadgets is cool. I'm glad he's not just another Bowser, which would have been really weird. Just a fast Bowser. But same with Duck Hunt, there are just so many other characters I'd rather play. A lot of his moves feel really slow, like his aerials, except for up here. And he has the second worst move in the game, in my opinion, the Clown Cannon. I think it'd be pretty cool if the cannonball could break shields or something, or just apply a shit ton of pressure, but no, it's just a really slow projectile that I'm pretty sure everyone has dodged, like no one gets hit by that. Another negative is how you can get hit out of up B and can't do another one for a short period. That is just bullshit, like come on. But he is over Duck Hunt because the Koopalings as alts is pretty fucking cool, and each of them are pretty expressive, and they also have a wand instead of a hammer in this game, which is really awesome. One nitpick I do have about the Koopalings is how all of them are the same size. I understand why they're the same size, but it's just weird seeing Lemmy and Roy as the exact same size whenever they step out of the clown car on the victory screen. That's just really weird. You know, Roy should be so much bigger, Morton Jr. should be, but that's just a nitpick. I don't really care about that. In Ultimate, there are 4 characters that I truly don't like fighting. Olimar, Sonic, this entry of Isabelle, and the next entry, which might be pretty obvious. What puts Isabelle quite a few spots higher though is that I enjoy playing her more, but not that much. What I don't like about Isabelle is the slingshot. Why couldn't they have just given her a different forward air and maybe kept the back air with the slingshot? I hate the slingshot. Constantly getting hit by those is incredibly annoying. And overall, she is just a campy character, which I'm not a big fan of fighting in general, but the slingshot is just, it's fun to use against your opponent, but Jesus, it's just, whenever you're fighting an Isabelle and they just keep spamming the slingshot, I understand why they're doing it, and it's smart for them to do it, but oh my god, it's just so fucking annoying. Some other things I don't like about her are basically all of her specials. Her down B feels useless because no one ever falls for it. Her fishing rod is handy, and overall I think it's a good move, but it just, for me, it slows the pace of the match down. Like, whenever you use the fishing rod, you're just sitting there, and not most of the time, but sometimes you're hoping that they just step into the hook, and you can just pull it back, or just step in the area, but it's just, I don't like using it. I don't use the fishing rod, definitely don't use the down B. And her neutral B is also useful, but I always forget it exists. Like, I just never use it. I should. It's a good move, but I don't use it. Other than that, she's pretty slow and doesn't jump very high. I don't know if that's exactly right, but just playing her, like, whenever you roll with her, she just feels so fucking slow. I don't get it. It's weird. Overall, she isn't that fun, as you can tell. Like, I just said a bunch of things I don't like about her, but I will play her every once in a while. Just not that much.
Isabelle wins!
I also hate Villager because of his goddamn slingshot, but I prefer his specials a lot more, so that's why he's higher than Isabelle. The tree is really fun to land, and if your opponent doesn't come near it, which is understandable, you can actually use the axe, which is pretty fun. Villager's Lloyd rockets are much better as a projectile rather than Isabelle's trap. And the combo of Lloyd and the slingshot is a good zoning tool that'll be frustrating to deal with. Trust me, it is. Villager also has better smash attacks than Isabelle, like the bowling ball is really good. Really, now that I think about it, Isabelle doesn't have any good ones, but yeah, Villager with the bowling ball, that's really handy. Villager is also fun for me to use in free-for-alls, but my hatred for fighting him keeps him pretty low, but this is the last character that I truly hate fighting. Hate's a strong word, but yeah, I don't like fighting Villager. He's fucking annoying.
Villager wins!
I'm gonna say this right off the bat, I don't care about the Miis. It's cool that you can customize them and everything, but I think there isn't enough variety because you can only change the specials, which kinda sucks. It would've been cool, like, cause nobody has specials anymore in Ultimate except for the Miis, so maybe you could change their aerials or their smash attacks or something, like, I don't know, just specials, that kinda sucks. And even if there was more variety, I don't see myself looking at the entire character select screen and picking Mii Gunner. There's another Mii that I wouldn't pick, but Mii Gunner? No. My least favorite of the Miis is the Gunner because I much prefer similar characters like Samus, so Gunner is just completely useless for me. I just don't ever use Mii Gunner. I think it's cool that the Mii Gunner has a lot of range on some of the smash attacks and aerials, like the forward smash and the up air and the forward air. That's really cool. And being able to have a charge shot with a PK Fire clone move is pretty handy, but that's not enough for me to care. So yeah, Mii Gunner is just at 67.
Mii Gunner wins!
The Swordfighter is in the same boat as the Gunner, to be honest, but I like sword characters more than the zoning missile characters, so the Swordfighter wins out, basically. The Swordfighter also has a lot of really good moves, like up air and neutral air, some projectiles, which is really nice for a sword character to have. But there's nothing else I really care about, and there are a lot of other sword characters that I'd rather use, so yeah, Swordfighter is really in the same boat as Gunner, but I prefer Swordfighter just a tad bit more, so that's why it's at 66. Good job, Swordfighter. While I do like this idea of talking about every character, it leaves me with some who I just don't give a shit about. So I won't have a lot to say about some of these characters, so sorry about that. It won't be the majority, but there are some that I just won't really have much to say. I really don't care about Zero Suit Samus, not just as a character in Smash, just in general. She's boring, expressionless, but not in a badass kind of way, and she's boring. As a fighter, she's kinda cool. I like how she can use a stun gun and a plasma whip, but overall she feels bland. And I personally have a hard time landing hits and grabs with her, so that gives me a reason to pick someone else, I guess. Well, another reason, because she's also boring. And even if I am playing with her, all I'm thinking is how I could just use someone else. Like, I don't care for Zero Suit. Even watching high-level players do spikes and do that crazy side B shit, I don't care. I don't care. I know that there are a lot of fans of her, so sorry to all of you, but I'm just not a big fan. Pac-Man is a really weird character. I don't think he's bad or boring, he's just really weird. Doing crazy shit with the hydrant can be fun, the different fruits are cool, the different effects are cool, but I really don't see myself playing with him that often. Especially if it's a serious or competitive match. Like, Pac-Man's one of the last ones I'd pick. He's just too weird, and I can't do any of the crazy combos with his fruit or anything like that. So I just don't end up picking him a lot. But when I do land anything cool with him, it's really satisfying. I also really like watching high-level Pac-Man because of all the crazy shit he can do with the various specials and all that. He's just not a character that I play a whole lot at all, but I think he's cool, so he kind of ends up here, I guess. Yeah, on to 63. I was excited when Zelda was being shown off at events like E3 before the game came out. It seemed like she was going to be a lot better. She had a design that didn't make her look boring or just bored out of her mind being in Smash Bros. She looked interested for once, and people were proclaiming her as a really good character. Not the best, but they were saying that she's good. Then the game came out, and I wasn't disappointed. There are things I like about her now, but she is still one of my least favorite characters. I think her down B is much better than how it was in Smash 4. Being able to send out your knight in different forms, each with different attacks, is really cool. She has a multi-jab hit now, which is much better than what she had. You can use Din's Fire without going into freefall, thank God, that made no sense. Why would she go into freefall? Whatever. Overall, I do like her more than previous games, but she's still fundamentally the same character as she's been previously, and I'm just not into that kind of style. I also expected more changes than what we got. Like, I thought she'd be faster and have some aerials that are easier to land. What we got is a step up, and it's good that Zelda still does have those fundamentals, so it doesn't like alienate any of her mains from previous games, but she's just not for me. I also forgot to mention that she has some really good kill power in this game, but I mean, that doesn't do much for me, so yeah, just forgot to say that. Game & Watch is a character I really liked back in Melee when I was younger, but I've never been good with him. He has some fun moves like Judge, which I honestly don't use that much. The bucket, aerials like the key and up air, up smash with super armor, down smash, which actually berries now, but I've never been good at utilizing them. Now I see Game & Watch more as a character that I appreciate, more than I like using. It's really cool that he exists in the game, but I just don't care much for him. I like how in Ultimate, how they gave him different animations for when he uses attacks, but that's not enough to get me to play him. Game & Watch is okay, but one thing I don't like about Ultimate's Game & Watch is the new forwarder. The things I don't like about it are, I hate how if you hit the bomb, it just vanishes. It doesn't blow up or anything, it just disappears. It's also only good when it lands on the ground and blows up, or like drops far in the air and blows up. Like you can't really use it like his old one to like gimp him off stage or anything. So Game & Watch really doesn't have a fare anymore to me. So yeah, that's something I don't like about him. Yeah, not good.
Mr. Game & Watch wins!
Mega Man is a lot like Pac-Man for me. He's weird, but I like watching people do combos and stuff with him. I personally think Pac-Man is harder to use because he doesn't play like any other Smash character at all, but that makes him more fun to watch, I guess. Some of my favorite moves are his Shuriken, Dare, Up Air, Leaf Shield, and Grab because I just really like the Gutsman ability. I think it's funny using it on Bowser and stuff. As for what I don't like, I'm not a fan of his Jab, Nair, or F-Tilt, which are all the same exact move. I understand why all these moves are the same, but it's so unlike everyone else that it makes it hard for me to play him. I also don't like the Saw Blade, even though I know people can make use out of it. I use it more as a projectile and not as like a combo tool or anything, so it's kind of useless for me. I think Mega Man's really cool, and I'm really glad he's in the game, but I just can't use him for shit, so that's why he's 61. I think we can all agree that Inklings were a very obvious newcomer for Smash Ultimate, and I'm happy that Splatoon is getting more representation, but I don't really gravitate towards the Inklings in Ultimate, or really, like in general, like I just don't really care about them. But in terms of Smash, their ink supply definitely makes them unique compared to most of the other fighters. All of their specials and smash attacks rely on your ink being filled. If it isn't, then you have to hold shield and B to refill it. That's creative, but don't worry. I'll have a lot more to say about some characters coming up, but the range from 59 to 67 all have cool things about them. I just don't particularly like playing with them as much as other characters, for no real reason other than I just don't like their style. So I'm sorry if all of these just sound like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but I just don't really have a lot to say about these characters. So the Inklings, they just bore me. I'll recognize their distinct fighting style and how they are really good characters like in competitive and stuff, but I hardly ever use them, and whenever I do, I don't want to. So yeah, sorry Inklings. Rosalina is one of those characters that I don't use correctly, but I also feel it doesn't hinder me because she can still do good my way as well. At least it works for me. I never use Luma. I have a hard time keeping track of it, and when I am able to pull off double teams with Rosa and Luma, they're based on me getting lucky most of the time. So I don't really use Luma. The only time I ever think to use Luma is if I get launched, I'll hit the opponent with Luma as it follows behind me, so it like does an up air or something. I'm sure I'll do better if I used Luma more, but I just don't care. I also find no use in a lot of Rosalina's moves, especially the side B, so I just go around throwing people and doing up air or down airs. Not a super effective strategy, but I don't care enough to master her. Side note, I also really hate the angle of her recovery, so that's another reason why I don't play as her that much. Rosalina is just another character who's just there. Pretty forgettable, but more memorable than Bowser Jr. or the Mii's. It's cool that she's in, but eh.
Rosalina and Luma win!
Contrary to my characters I hate video, there is a lot that I like about Ness. His PK fire is very good, he has very fast aerials, he has a back throw that kills, the yo-yo can now linger off the ledge, he has a bat that probably isn't the best in the world, but it's really satisfying to land and probably one of my favorite smash attacks. And it can also like reflect projectiles, but that's kind of not super useful most of the time. Down B can now slow your descent, and PK Thunder, which can be used as a really annoying projectile. But what ruins Ness for me is his recovery. I can't do it. If I'm ever thrown off stage with Ness, it's pretty much game over because I just can't recover. And it's a shame because I think Ness is pretty fun other than that.
Ness wins!
There are things that Ness has that I prefer over Lucas and vice versa, but I'd say I like Lucas more for two reasons. First, even though his jump is weaker, he has a recovery that goes farther, so I have a better chance of getting back on stage. And second, PK Freeze is really fun to use in this game. In Ultimate, it'll send your opponent away from you when you hit it, like way off stage. I know a lot of people complain about the PK Freeze, but I'm very okay with it being good. This move was garbage in Brawl and Smash 4, so seeing it shine in this game is awesome, and it's just so fun. I love using it. Don't worry, I'm not one of those people online that just constantly spams it. I'm not one of those people. But if I'm just hanging out with friends, I'll pick Lucas and just be an asshole. I personally prefer Ness's PK Fire, his grabs, and aerials. But with Lucas, he has some good smash attacks, the aforementioned PK Freeze, and a better recovery in my opinion, so Lucas wins out for me.
Lucas wins!
I don't have much of a reason to play as Toon Link because I enjoy the other Links so much more. But there are some things I like about him. One, he's expressive like he is in Wind Waker, which makes him appear goofy, and I like that about characters. I like when they show some emotion. Two, his bombs last longer, so you can set traps and you can avoid being hasty with doing your recovery with a bomb. The downside is it does less damage than the other bombs, but I don't think that really matters. And now that I think about it, I don't even really use the bombs at all, so this is kind of a useless thing I like about him. But hey, his bombs I think are better than Youngling's. I like some of his distinctions, like his neutral air and the power of his back throw, but there are some changes they gave to him that I just don't like. His arrows are really fucking slow. Like, nobody really uses the arrows except for Young Link, because the fire send you up and they're so fast. But like in every Smash game, other than Toon Link's fire arrows in this game, nobody really uses them. But with these arrows being so slow, there's like, I will never use the arrows ever, oh my god. He also got a new forward smash that is nowhere near as good as his forward smash in 4. I know why they changed it is because Link and Young Link have the same one, and they didn't want Toon Link having the same one, so they changed it to just like this swipe up, and it just, I don't like it, personally. I also don't like his forward air or back air compared to Young Link and regular Link. I think they're fine, like the forward air and back air are fine, and I like how, I don't know if they do the exact same amount of damage, but they feel the same. Unlike with Link, he's got the strong forward air and the pretty weak back air. But I like how you can have a weak back air that's good on the shield, rather than having two moves that are like the exact same both ways, if that makes any sense. I still like Toon Link, but being my least favorite of 3 very similar characters does not help, so that's why Toon Link is not in a very high spot. And even stuff I do like about Toon Link, I still prefer Young Link's version of, and regular Link's variations, but yeah, sorry Toon Link, but I like you, I just don't really use you. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Sheik is my absolute favorite character in Melee. She was so fast, surprisingly strong, even though she was intended to be the weaker of Zelda and Sheik, and had some super reliable and powerful moves that always aided me in a win. Then in Brawl, she was okay, but felt much weaker to balance her more with Zelda. And in Smash 4, she was separated from Zelda and is really good in that game, but her attacks didn't do much damage, and I had a hard time killing with her, so I was just not a big fan of Sheik in Smash 4. Now in Ultimate, she hits like a bitch. Her moves do barely any damage and have horrible knockback. She still can do some cool looking combos, but if you land every hit, you'll probably end up only doing like 25% total, which you could get with like just a forward smash on any other character. And some of her combos take a lot of work and precision, so to end with such a poor outcome of like 25% or lower, maybe a little higher, is really disappointing. Now to stop railing on her, because she isn't that low, so there has to be something I like about her. Like I said, her combo strings can look pretty cool, so that's a point, I guess. And it's fun to gimp with her back air and down B. And with the bigger characters, even though like it'll take forever for Sheik to kill, in fact, I don't even know why anybody would go Sheik against like Bowser or Ganondorf. But if they were, like, it'd be hard for them to like land a hit, except for Bowser, I guess, but because he's like got the super extreme armor. But Sheik, like, just such little damage, barely any knockback on big characters. That's a problem. But like, at least you'll be annoying the shit out of them, I guess. The only other thing I like about her is her design. She looks badass in this game, even though she kind of already was badass, but in this game, they have the Breath of the Wild design of the Sheik armor on her, and it looks fucking cool. So yeah, Sheik looks awesome. There's some things I like about her, but overall, not a character I use very much. I like the Brawler a lot more than the other two Miis. While there is still a lack of moves to change, most of them that he has for his specials are really fun to use, like the suplex, the Falcon Punch knockoff, the Zero Suit Jump, all of the up specials, which suck for getting back on stage, but they're fun to use on your opponent, even though they're not as good as they were in Smash 4, but I still think they're fun to use. And the counter with a fucking awesome animation, I love it. Mii Brawler does lack a lot of kill power in some moves, like the suplex is really fun to use, but it has barely any knockback, and I think it does like 10%. So yeah, okay, I don't think it has fixed knockback, but it just feels like it does the same every time I use it. And for the moves that are powerful, they have a lot of lag, like his forward smash. Like he punches, it goes out kind of fast, but then he does like this pose after, and then he brings his hand back down. I don't know, that's just stupid. What are you doing, you fucking idiot? The Mii Brawler's recovery is also tits, so yeah. I think Brawler is technically the worst Mii, but still my favorite to use. I just don't use him as much as a lot of other characters, mostly because of the pretty glaring flaws. So yeah, that's what puts Mii Brawler pretty low. The Ice Climbers are notorious for stuff in the past like wobbling in Melee and chain grabs in Brawl, which I could actually do basic ones in that. I'm not bragging at all, but I could do it. In this game, they have some insane desync combos that are basically 0 to deaths, but I can't do any of that, and I don't think a lot of people can do any of it. So I just play them how they were intended, and without those fun chain grabs, well, fun for me, probably not for anybody, because I don't like using ice climbers very much in this game. Playing these characters how they are intended has never been that good in any of the games, and if you lose Nana, like, you're so screwed. And Nana is pretty stupid in this game, so when you lose her, you're basically done, because Popo is the worst character in the game, just Popo alone. Although, I find it incredibly satisfying when I win with just Popo. In fact, I actually like using just Popo. But yeah, he sucks. Just alone, he's awful. They also have some pretty bad specials, like the only one I ever use is the side B twirl tornado thing, but the others are just really bad unless you know how to desync. And while using Nana as a projectile is not the most reliable thing in the world, it's super fun to land. Like, your opponent is like up in the air and you just throw Nana, kills him. That's awesome. Even though if you do it too much, that's super predictable and you're gonna get your ass kicked. And if you miss, yeah, you're fucked. But it's just fun throwing Nana at somebody. That's just awesome. I think their aerials are pretty fun, but without the chains, they just don't do it for me. I just don't really use them. I think they're cool and all. I like watching these things, but yeah, I just don't use them.
Ice Climber. Win.
Out of all the Fire Emblem characters, Robin is definitely the most unique. I'm not too big on the overabundance of sword-based Fire Emblem characters, so having someone who uses magic is a nice change of pace. Even though she also uses a sword, but whatever. It's kind of like a magic sword, the 11 sword. So. She has different variations of Thunder, Arc Fire, which is like PK Fire, Elwind for recovery, and Nosferatu, which I never use, and I don't think anybody else uses. But Robin can lose her magic and 11 sword if they are used too much, which I think is a cool addition that stays true to the Fire Emblem games, so it doesn't bother me that much. But it sucks if you don't have 11 sword for smash attacks because the bronze sword is shit, and having your recovery tied to your jab is just stupid. Why is that a thing? Like, Robin has 2 jabs. She's got the hit with the sword and the explosion. That's what it just should be. I mean, the other one's good. It's the hit with the sword, and then a bunch of, like, the Elwind goes fucking flying everywhere. But that's also your recovery, so if you use the jab too much, well, you don't have a recovery. But if you use the recovery too much, or just the jab, you have a jab, so it's not that big of a loss. I guess I just don't understand why the jab is tied to the recovery, and if you use too much of it, you're fucked. Like, that's just, I don't get it. It's dumb. But overall, I do like Robin, even though I'm not good at conserving magic or the 11 sword. So, yeah, I struggle with her, but I like to use her, and I think she's really cool.
I've
got your back.
I think Wii Fit is the strangest addition to Smash Bros. Ever. Even weirder than Game & Watch, Rob, Piranha Plant, and even, okay, Cloud is really surprising, but just Wii Fit, like, what the fuck? I just find it so weird that she's in this game. As a character, I like Wii Fit Trainer, but I'm not very good at using them. She has a lot of really weird hitboxes, like her up tilt, forward air, her forward tilt, but they aren't impossible to land, they're just so unlike every other character. I like her specials, but I tend to forget about them, especially the side B. I don't know why I do, but I should remember because deep breathing is a great buff to everything, and Sun Salutation is a pretty good projectile. The Medicine Ball, which is the side B, is good, I think, but I can't do any of the crazy shit where you like send it and then do an air dodge and then do a move after that. Like, I can do that, I just don't know what move to do and what move does what and stuff like that. If you've watched Wii Fit Trainer players, you'll know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, you're probably like, don't you just hit the ball with your head? But yeah, there's some crazy stuff you can do with the ball. Wii Fit Trainer's cool, but not cool enough to be placed any higher. But hey, Wii Fit Trainer is my favorite character on part 1, so that's a pretty good accomplishment. One thing I will say about Wii Fit Trainer that's kind of like irrelevant is her alternate costumes. I don't talk about those a lot, even though I really like how they're a thing. But I think it's so weird that Wii Fit Trainer has, like, there's the female and the male, which is cool. Then there's 2 blue, 2 green, 2 red, and 2 yellow. Why? Why not give, like, the male orange, pink, black, and white, or brown, or something like that? Like, I don't understand why they're both the same. With characters like Villager and Robin and all them, they have different colors with each of them. The only ones that are the same are, like, Corrin and Robin's first 2. They look the same, they have the same color scheme, but that's because that's what they look like in their games, in their generic form. But just fucking, I don't get Wii Fit with all the color, like the same colors. I don't get it. I know that's completely off topic, and I know that's how I'm ending this video, but it's just dumb. I don't like that. I wish they gave the guy more, or different colors, but yeah.
When inserting yourself, remember to keep reading.
Join me in part 2 where I'll be going over 50 through 26. And I want to say this, I just hit 1,000 subscribers, and that is fucking awesome. Like, I remember last year, or no, the year before that, in 2017, when I started, I thought, okay, if I can get 100 subs, that'd be awesome. And I got it in January of 2018, I got 100 subs, that was awesome. But now I have a fucking 1,000. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't remember the exact date I got 1,000. I think it was like April, like 19th or something. And this is being recorded April 27th. But yeah, just fuck. And I don't want to make any plans yet for the 1,000 subs because, to be honest, I'm really busy right now. That's one of the reasons why this video is taking forever to come out. Like I said, I was gonna make this back in early March, and I finished the part 1 script in March, but I just never had time to record because school and stuff. So, but that's wrapping up. So I'll have more time, and I'll probably do something for the 1,000 subs. So yeah, thank you all. That is awesome. I love you all, and part 2 will be out sometime shortly. So yeah, see you later.